Hey y'all, this is Texan Reacts here, and we're going to be checking out something a little bit different. This will go on my history playlist for sure. This is Sherman versus the T-34 Ultimate Hands-On Showdown. These are tanks, and this was suggested to me, and I thought, why not? We're checking out a lot of military stuff, so I love military and history and everything. So let's take a look at this almost 10-minute video. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the Sherman wins, but we'll see.
Firing! The Soviet T-34 and the American Sherman were the most produced tanks of World War II. In excess of 50,000 Shermans and more than 60,000 T-34s rolled off the production line. These two vehicles played a huge part in World War II. They fit together, but they're very different. We could compare them using archive footage and photos, but this time we have the two legends right here.
So cool.
The first serial copy of the Sherman came off the assembly line in February 1942. It replaced the out-of-date M3, and from this moment the American and British forces had a modern medium tank to fight their adversaries. The first serial copy of the Soviet medium tank was produced in June 1940. It was one of the best tanks in the early 1940s, an unprecedented combination of firepower, mobility, protection and ruggedness. A wide scope for modernisation is a common trait that unites these two tanks, and this ease in which the tanks could be improved allowed them to become legends and contribute significantly to victory.
They're so similar.
One of the main roles of any medium tank was to support the infantry and force a breach. This meant they had to be fast and manoeuvrable. The T-34 has a V12 diesel engine with 500 horsepower. The maximum speed of the tank is 54 kilometers per hour.
Remember that.
The power-to-weight ratio of the T-34 is even better. 15.6 horsepower per ton, making the T-34 a very mobile tank, which was its main advantage. The Sherman's Ford V8 engine provides 500 horsepower and a maximum speed of 42 kilometers per hour.
A lot slower. That's surprising.
With the Sherman's weight of 38.1 tons, the engine gives 13.5 horsepower per ton, which is enough to climb hills and overcome different obstacles. Infantry support and the destruction of defensive lines was a key tank role. Tanks were designed with one purpose in life, and that was to break things. Now, there are two things that I really hate. The first
TVs.
is reality TV, and the second is Mondays in the office. So let's put an end to both of these.
Yeah, real impressive. That's funny. These tanks are so cool. I was really surprised because I was always under the impression that the Americans, use speed, especially like in tanks and stuff. But those Russians, man, they had some That's a really fast tank, man. That's cool. Reminds me of, I always play with the Soviets in Red Alert, like Command and Conquer and stuff. And you know, the big tanks are nice, but I always have a ton of their medium tanks. He just, you know, that's what these are. So I didn't know it was the T-34. Interesting.
The MGs are a critical part of any tank's weaponry. Some are better than others. This is one of my personal favourites, the world-famous Browning 50 cal. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Firing!
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
Now that was incredible. Of course, the machine guns were extremely effective against infantry and soft-skinned vehicles.
Yeah.
But if you came up against armour, then of course you needed the might of the main armament. This Sherman has a powerful 76mm gun that can penetrate 100mm of armour with armoured-piercing rounds at 900 metres. The T-34
Looks like they're in Texas, honestly.
has a more powerful 85mm gun that could penetrate 100mm of armour with armoured-piercing rounds at 1,000 metres.
Ooh. Faster and a more powerful gun.
The Sherman and the T-34 fought well. They smashed enemy defence lines and forced the breach. But the hardest challenge for them was meeting with the German heavy tank, Tiger.
The Tiger.
The Tiger I was one of the most powerful tanks of World War II. It could destroy Allied tanks from 2,000 metres and was almost impenetrable for them even from 1,000 metres. The meeting with the Tiger was always very bad news for the tank crew. Unfortunately, no one would lend us a real Tiger tank to shoot at, so we've had to get creative with another piece of German engineering, with a few added modifications, namely the steel plate. Thankfully, the mobility of medium tanks was good for avoiding hits, closing the gap and shooting at closer distance to penetrate the front armour.
Oh, same hole. Ooh, direct hit. How fun would this be, man? I want to do that. I want to go around in my backyard and shoot tanks.
As you can see, both of our vehicles from exactly
fair.
the same range have hit accurately with all their rounds.
That's amazing.
I think it's safe to say that the frontal armour has been penetrated and our Tiger has been completely destroyed.
Wow. That's so cool.
It's difficult to find fair ground to compare these two tanks.
Yeah.
They were both legends of World War II that certainly more than played their part in bringing eventual victory to the Allies.
Yeah. That is so cool. I want to check out more. I already want to check out more tanks. I remember when I was a little kid, I would check out books from the library that had photos and descriptions of like tanks and jets and military stuff. And I would sit at my kitchen table and draw them. I'd have a piece of paper and I would, look at the tank and try to draw the tank. I remember doing that for hours on end. And so I've always had a fascination with tanks and stuff. It's really cool. I've been inside a tank or two. I don't know if I could fit anymore, but when I was a kid, I got down in a couple of tanks. Never got to ride in one, like it moving or anything. Just checking it out. Yeah, it's so cool. For this particular video, seems like the T-34 was faster, had a more powerful gun, so it would win in that respect. But what sets it apart? I mean, these two didn't have to really fight each other, I guess. At least not during World War II. So I wonder if they had to have faced off, who would have won. The Sherman, maybe it sets itself apart because it's more reliable. I don't know. Maybe that's just a kind of like a reputation, maybe, that the Russian stuff broke down, but that could be not true at all for the T-34. Yeah, so it's interesting to see these two if they had to face off. I don't know. What do y'all think? Who do you think would have won between these two tanks? Let me know in the comments down below. Go check out World of Tanks, and yeah, check out this channel, and I'll link it down below so you can go check out their videos and let me know which ones you think I should watch. Y'all can be my eyes and ears. Yeah, please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I love history stuff and military stuff, so suggest that those kind of videos to me and I'll check them out. Check out our Discord, which is also linked down below. A huge group of people from all over the world, so we'd love to hear from you. Come say hello. Till next time, rock on.